Good afternoon, everyone. Are we on? Are we on? Good afternoon. We'd like to welcome everybody here. This is quite a group, especially since we changed both the day and the time as our commission meeting. We want to excuse our fellow commissioner, Gil Almquist. He's out of town and unfortunately can't be here, but thank all of you for being here. We really appreciate that. As we start our meeting, we're going to start it with an invocation by Barry Bundy, who has offered to give us that prayer, after which Barry Golding from our Sheriff's Office will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our kind and gracious, loving Heavenly Father, humbly we bow our heads before Thee at this time of prayer. We give You thanks for the opportunity we have to be part of this Washington County. We're grateful for the wonderful setting that it is, for the blessings that we have because of our residents here. We're grateful for the county commissioners and all those that help them in making decisions to better this county. We're grateful for the circumstances that we live in, for this time of year, the season that we have the opportunity to enjoy, be festive, and remember the Savior in our lives. We, at this time, ask a special blessing that we might receive the moisture in these dry lands that we so desperately need, that we might be able to continue to enjoy the lifestyle that we have. Again, grateful for all that we have in Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both very much for being willing to do that at such short notice. So Barry was just walking in the door and didn't even know that he was going to be on the agenda, the first item. We appreciate that. Our first item on our agenda is our consent agenda, and the consent agenda is a means of expediting the consideration of routine matters. If a commissioner requests that items be removed from the consent agenda, those items are placed at the beginning of the regular agenda. Other than requests to remove items, a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda is not debatable.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like the record to reflect that Commissioner Almquist chose the one meeting of the year when we have a total of 38 items, and I therefore get to read all of the agenda items by myself, for which I will exact my vengeance later. But I move that we approve the consent agenda as follows. Item A, consideration of auditor approved claims for payment for December 3rd, 2025 through December 15th, 2025. B, consideration of commission meeting minutes of December 2nd, 2025. C, consideration of administrative adjustments of real property. D, consideration of administrative adjustments for personal property. E, consideration of proof of publication of ordinance number 2025-1311-0, published on Sunday, December 7th, 2025. F, consideration of Washington County holiday schedule for 2026. G, consideration of regular commission meeting schedule for 2026. H, consideration of a confidential employee amendment agreement. I, consideration of renewals of all public defender contracts. And J, consideration of approval of a drainage easement in Pine Valley, and that's my motion.
I'll second the consent agenda motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Our next item on our regular agenda, I don't know exactly, this is a celebration for some, an acknowledgement. Anyway, a presentation from the IDC recognizing Doug Terry for his work in incident defense. And before we start this, we have Doug here. Doug, after 39 years, has decided that he needs to retire, and selfishly, we can't say enough good about this man, as he has been our chief public defender. Was that the title we bestowed upon him?
Managing public defender.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just, I don't think the citizens of this county quite understand how important it is in a justice system that you have someone like Doug who is there, and he operates this team of public defenders in our county who are willing to take the county contracts and are willing to stand at the bar with those that are accused and cannot, pay for their own defense. It's an important part of our justice system. It's an important part of public safety, and I just can't say enough about him. I know that I don't even know how we roped him into being here. This isn't his comfort zone, but we do definitely appreciate him being here and being willing to accept a long-deserved award. Commissioner Snell?
Yeah, I think we lied to him. I don't think he knows it's for him. But Doug has opened my eyes in dealing with some people and making sure that they have the defense that's provided them under the Constitution, under the laws of this land, and that's an important part, as you already said. I don't need to belabor that, but Doug has done it with absolute integrity and a passion for helping people and empathy that I don't, for some people that don't get a whole lot of empathy in the world and sympathy. And I don't know of anybody some of the people that I know who he has represented have described him as an angel on earth, and they say it with tears streaming down their face from some of the hardest people I've ever met. And I think that's high praise and the only accurate description of what Doug has done in his years, helping others. As a managing public defender, he helps the other public defenders. We have a lot of them that are really, really good, and helps guide and lead that whole team there. So just want to say Doug will be severely missed.
We'd like to invite Matt Braza to come up and present this award.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize one of our great defense attorneys in the state of Utah, Doug Terry. Don't know where to look.
Actually, let's have Doug come up. If we're going to talk about him.
Shoot me now.
So if I could just say a few words about my experience working with Doug over the past few years. 40 plus years, 42 years doing defense work. And you don't do that kind of work unless you believe in it, unless you believe that you can help people who are at their lowest point. And they've often burned their bridges with their family, with their community, and they really don't have anybody left to turn to. And a lot of times, people like Doug are the only one that can offer a hand to help. One thing I've seen just in interacting with Doug is that he always presents himself with this air of dignity. And I think that's something that you're not born with. It's something that you cultivate over the years. And I suspect that not only defense attorneys, but also prosecutors look up to Doug in the courtroom. And they probably think to themselves, that's the kind of attorney I want to be. So I know that Doug has served as a mentor for other public defenders and likely prosecutors here in Washington County over the years. Not only has he worked to help people in Washington County, he has also been able to help people throughout the state. It's very difficult. Only a few people in the state are qualified to represent people who are accused with aggravated murder. That's a crime that's punishable by death. Doug is one of a handful of people that's able to take those cases. Not only is he able to take those cases, he agrees to take those cases. And those are two things that are hard to find. And so we thank him for his service over the years for that. More recently, he's been working as the managing public defender for Washington County. And his experience is something that we at the Indigent Defense Commission have leaned on as well. We've been working on developing training standards and best practices to be able to help other attorneys throughout the state know how to handle a case, what they need to do to properly represent their clients. And Doug has been so generous with his time and his expertise and his wisdom to be able to develop those standards. And so his legacy will carry out throughout the state for years to come. So with that, on behalf of the state of Utah and the Defense Commission, we'd like to recognize you with this certificate. Thank you for your
Hey, Doug, don't go away. We want to get a picture, and we have something else we'd like to present to you.
Yeah, Doug, we have a little something here just from Washington County that we wanted to present to you. I'll hand it up to you in a second. On the front, you might recognize the quote. It just says, "Liberty, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal." And on the back says, "Just as President Lincoln in the Gettysburg Address," which is where that quote's from, "dedicated himself to the proposition that all men are created equal, Doug Terry dedicated his career to ensuring this promise extends to every person in our justice system by defending the constitutional right to counsel and proving that true democracy depends on equal justice for all. Presented with gratitude and respect, Washington County Commission, December 2025.
Doug, before you leave the microphone, do you have anything you want to say?
We're going to be here all night anyway, Doug. Doesn't really matter. An extra 15 minutes.
Say it in the microphone so everybody can hear.
Yeah, I can't. I'm very uncomfortable with this, but I appreciate it very much. There's a few people I'd like to acknowledge, and I need to start out with Gary Pendleton. Gary Pendleton was the sole deputy county attorney 42 years ago, half-time. Paul Graff was the county attorney. And I came down and clerked between second and third year of law school, and Gary said, you know, when you get out of law school, he says, I'm leaving the county attorney's office, so why don't you throw in with me? And he took me on as a partner. And Gary taught me how to be a defense attorney. And a couple of years after that, when a public defense conflict contract was created, in addition to the sole public defense contract that J. MacArthur Wright had, Gary encouraged me to take that contract, and he taught me how to be a public defender, and I will forever be indebted to him. I also want to thank my wife, Vicki. 52 years ago, we met in high school, and 5 years after that, I made her an offer, and we started a partnership. And it's not easy being a defense attorney's wife. You've got to know. And she has been there by my side, and it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's a job that you take home, and And with rough cases, there's a lot of sleepless nights, and I can't thank her enough for her love and support. And since they're here, I'm going to thank Lamar and Julie, and Lamar Windward, Julie Wright, Caleb Cottam, who I've often shared with we decided about 25 years. Trevor, my son, who is in mental health court this afternoon, or he'd be here, has worked for me for 15 years. Ryan Stout's worked for me for 20 years. Debbie Patterson, Gary and I hired her 39 years ago, and it's just been a privilege to work with them. And I appreciate law enforcement being here. One thing that Gary taught me is we all play a role in the judicial system, the criminal justice system. We all play a role, and every role is important. And I appreciate the judges, and Gary taught me, treat the clerks and the court personnel right, and they'll treat you right. And I've tried to do that, treat them with respect, and it means a lot to me to have law enforcement here today. The difference between a defense attorney is a very unique job. And I appreciate the prosecutors. This is an adversarial system. The criminal justice system is an adversarial system. But we can have an adversarial system without being acrimonious, and I've always appreciated that. We have an excellent relationship. We butt heads and we go to the mat when we need to, but the relationship that the defense bar has with the prosecution side, including law enforcement, I think is second to none anywhere in this country, and I will always appreciate that. Defense attorneys in the private sector can take what cases they want. They can just choose the cases, they can choose the clients. Public defenders do not have that luxury. Public defenders take the cases that are assigned to them. And those cases sometimes are very difficult cases. And defense attorneys are asked all the time, as my wife is asked all the time, how do you defend somebody that's guilty? Well, we understand that for our system to work, someone has to stand between the government, the relative immeasurable power of the government, and the defendant, the person accused of a crime. And defense attorneys, and especially public defenders, are willing to do that. Sometimes they're the only ones that will. And I just want to say that I'm immensely proud of the public defenders that we have in Washington County, and I'm proud to have been a part of this process. And thank you all that are here for me. Thank you.
Well said, Doug. Thank you for your service. Our next item is a presentation on the Dixie Junior Livestock Show. And we have Natalie Larson, and I think you brought some FFA members in those handsome jackets of theirs. And let's talk about the Dixie Junior Livestock Show.
So these wonderful youth are from Dixie High School. They can tell their story better than I can, but they just recently competed on the national level and won. If you missed their presentation, you can see it, I believe, on a YouTube channel. But it talks about wild horses. I got to see their presentation 3 times. It was amazing. But do you just want to explain a little bit about what you do in the process?
Okay, so for our competition in FFA, we do different competitions for leadership and development programs, and this one is called the Agricultural Issues Forum, and we take a issue that we're currently dealing with within our community or within our state, and with the wild horses and burros is a very controversial discussion within our states and surrounding states of the West. And so we were able to come up with a presentation about it, and then we learned all about this and how it's affecting agriculture and us, all of us personally, And we took that to our state competition, and then we won out of 2 other schools. There was 3. And then we also got to go back to Indiana just recently, about a month and a half ago, and then we won the national title for that, and there was 42 other teams that got to compete in that. So if you think about that, we beat over 200 teams, roughly. That's a little guesstimate. But this is not only where we're stopping with this. We're trying to go back to Washington, D.C. and compete with, or talk in front of Congress and get them to actually do something about this issue, because it's a lot bigger than us. And it's been a great journey for all of us. We've all got to talk with so many different people, not only in our community, but outside of our community, and just about how much this is affecting every single person, and like how it is in agriculture and everything. Anything else you want to add? Yeah, our teacher is David Gust. He's been a teacher at Dixie High School for roughly 30 years, maybe more.
130 years, yeah.
Yeah, 130, more like 200 years, but he's ancient. He had to go. He had horses that he had to go get a hold of. But anything else you want to add?
I just want to congratulate you. This, not only for being that good that you could compete, but the topic is so critical. I know that Commissioner Snow is very, very, very familiar with this topic, having worked for congressmen and myself as well. This is a serious issue in the West, and a lot of people don't understand how it is impacting the entire ecology of the West, or the rangelands, and obviously impacting not just the land for cattle, but also just the land in general, the overpopulation of feral horses. Everybody thinks about the wild Mustangs running free, and they don't recognize that the impact that overpopulation is having. And so what a great topic, and what a great job on being able to present that topic in those different forms, and being recognized for excellence on that. Very good.
Yeah, and not only, sorry to cut you off, but we are the first national team to ever win from the state of Utah as well.
Wow.
So,
that is
not
fantastic.
only is our topic really crazy, but our winning is also another
that's
big
amazing.
evidence, so.
I am equally proud of you, one, because Dixie Flyer. So good job there, my kids are. But Mr. Gus did this topic, or his team did the topic several years ago, and they didn't win. So this group of kids is young adults, should be commended for being able to win. Like you said, the first team to win from the state of Utah, take national. That was amazing. I'm going to claim maybe a little tiny bit of credit, because I did come in and help coach them one night on this issue, having spent 6 years of my life dealing with it. But they did phenomenally well. I was able to throw out questions, and regardless of which role they were playing, they were able to just fire right back, and I could say this and this. It's not that they memorized a script. They know this issue really well, and it is so important for most people in the West who have no clue about it. Even people, it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, people from Utah that are up in Salt Lake, well, we got some wild horses. That's pretty cool, right? Shouldn't we leave them alone? It's like, you're an idiot. Because they don't understand it so well. And you guys are smarter than almost anybody else in the world on this issue, so you have a duty to go forth and expand and explain that to other people. But well done. I'm glad my coaching helped just a tiny little bit, but I think that's what put you over the top. But really, really good job. Very proud of you. And I hope you wear those medals everywhere and make everybody call you national champion wherever you go.
Yeah, I hope you wear those medals every day at school, just kind of like, hey, I'm a champion, just let people know that.
National champion.
Yeah,
Just
national
hold it up.
champion. Yeah, so.
You shouldn't have to take
It should-
finals.
yeah, we
National
just gotta-
champion.
Yeah,
This will get me anywhere.
very good. Can we come down and get a picture with you?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Go Flyers. Who said that?
Our next item is kind of related to that. It's consideration of Resolution R-2025-3634, a resolution approving a facility use and sponsorship agreement between Washington County and Dixie Junior Livestock Show Association for use of the Legacy Park. And so I want, Natalie, if you'll come back to the microphone. The Dixie Junior Livestock Show, how many years have you been going now, Barry? 40 years, raising a lot of pigs, judging a lot of calves, and even as we become more and more urbanized, unfortunately, in our county, this has been a great show and a great opportunity to get the youth involved in agriculture. And so every year, it's changed a little bit, and we wanted to make sure through this resolution that we have an agreement that's a little more long-lasting, that you guys can have some certainty as you're planning going forward. And so we're trying to, take on some of the costs and be a sponsor with you all. I don't know if you want to speak to it, and then I'll have Nicole Felshaw also speak to a few of the details in it if necessary.
Well, this is a vital part. Your sponsorship and support is so important to us. The sponsorship is huge, but the support carries right along with it. As you show up, as you recognize these kids that were here today is important. It gives these youth across Washington County, and it really goes from Virgin to Burrow, out to Ivins, that these youth are able to take care of an animal. It changes the way they look at food on their plate. When they care for an animal, feed it, house it, and then it ends up on their dinner plate. It changes their world and how they perceive it. It also teaches them a great work ethic. You don't get to quit. You have to be a little courageous to stand there with the steer that outweighs you by 10 times, or even hang on to a lamb. Those things are pretty energetic. So the fact that you're willing to help us with that means a lot. Maybe Barry has something else to add to that.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for the past support. We try to be good partners with the county over there, and it works great, and we're excited to have you come on as sponsors and look forward to continuing working with you in the future.
Very good.
So Commissioners, thank you for letting me speak on this. I think overall the county's just incredibly excited to just look at the youth that we just had in front of us and recognize that how important it is to support them, and they're our next generation to come that's going to be leading the county. So thank you for thinking about being a sponsor for the Junior Livestock Show, because I think that we're going to create great leaders out of this group. And just a couple of the details. It's a very friendly agreement wherein we really allow them to have use of the Legacy Park facilities at no charge, and we also will pick up the utilities and janitorial service. They will make sure that they take care of their shavings, and then we've reduced the RV stalls to $20 a day per RV stall, and that might be a really good fundraiser for them to allow them to fundraise along the way. And then it's just really that sponsorship where our logo will be shown during this event. I'm sure the 3 commissioners will be attending many of the events and helping out along the way. So, and then this is a good 5-year agreement, and obviously will be up for renewal, and the commissioners at that time will be able to renew it or renegotiate. But if there's any time that perhaps this isn't working or something's happening with Legacy Park, I know we are going to go into a master planning at some point, but not for several years. But it does allow either party a 9-month clause where if something's not working because we have to shut down the facility or something happens with the Junior Livestock Show, it's just 9 months that allows each group to better plan or renegotiate or figure something out. So anyways, I think it's a great agreement. Just really appreciate the commissioners and the way that they're supporting this group.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be at least 40 more years before we have to reconsider.
Generational stuff going.
Now, on those RV spots, we were thinking maybe like for Commissioner Snow, when he comes, you can charge him full price, and then you just take a little bit of the extra there. So anyway, that was kind of our thoughts on that. So,
No, because my family still raises a fair number of cattle. I thought my kids would get in and show steers, but their stupid young women's leader got them into lambs, and I have a whole backyard full of lambs now. And that's not an animal I know anything about. And so I think I've done my time. I've paid my full price now.
very good.
Yeah. It is awesome. I love that my kids participate in it. And everything you said is right. My youngest daughter has a male. She wanted a female this year, but there wasn't one from the breeder available. And I'm like, he's going to be sold for meat again. And she's like, yeah. But she loves it, and she takes care of it, and she raises it, and she knows that when she sells it, it is going off to the slaughterhouse. But it has given her a whole new appreciation of where food comes from and how it's raised. So
I just want to thank you and all of the great leaders that put this show on. It really is a great service to our county and community, so thank you.
We do have a great committee that works with us on the daily, but really this is a family operation, as Adam just said. You can't do this without family support, so that's what we see over there. It builds strong families, I believe, as well.
Very good. Well, thank you so much.
thank you.
With that, I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution R-2025-3646, a resolution approving facility use and sponsorship agreement between Washington County and the Dixie Junior Livestock Show Association for Legacy Park.
I think you, Commissioner, you meant, Mr. Chairman, R-2025-3634.
Okay, very good.
And with that amendment, I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. Our next item is a presentation of the 2025 Fraud Risk Assessment. Ryan Sullivan.
Good afternoon. As you know, we are required to annually do a fraud risk self-assessment for the state auditor and to stay in compliance to make our auditors happy and us happy and everyone happy. But one of the things that we've always missed points on, which is fairly easy, was one of the questions is, are employees and elected officials required to annually commit in writing to abide by a statement of ethical behavior? For whatever reason, we hadn't been doing that, and that's been fixed. So I'm proud to say that we got 100% on our assessment this year. So
Oh, very good.
I think that's it. Some of the questions, if you have written policies involving conflicts of interest, procurement, ethical behavior, reporting fraud and abuse, a travel policy, cash handling and receiving, those types of items.
Very good. Thank you, Ryan. Our next item is a consideration of selection of commission chairman for 2026. Every year this gavel gets to pass. You know, we don't want power to, corrupt the soul of any commissioners. So, no, just kidding. So every year we select a new chairman, and this year I'd like to nominate Commissioner Adam Snow for chairman for the year 2026 to be our chairman.
Am I supposed to second my own?
Yes, you are.
I second that I will be the chairman for next year.
All right, we have a motion and a second, and I'll not tell everybody how proud I am that
Oh my gosh.
as the youngest county commissioner, you're going to be a great leader and a great great chairman.
Well, if you're going to say that before you call for a vote, the gavel means nothing. All it means, the chairman means you have to read the first little part, and you have to go like this at the end of the meeting. So,
and you have to sign everything after.
Oh, you do have to sign everything. Your hand gets cramps. I've done it before.
And people send you more emails.
We just
you have more.
They do think you have more power, but your vote means nothing different. And it just rotates every year. Next year it's me. The year after it'll be Commissioner Almquist. then I'll be back to you again.
Well, with that, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes. Thank you for your willingness to serve. Our next item is consideration of our purchase request. Alfred?
All right, so the first few are going to be from the sheriff's office. The first one is going to be a fence to secure their parking lot for $30,367. The next one is a gate to also secure the parking lot for $17,769.25. Next one for the sheriff's office is going to be for a medical cart to monitor inebriated patients or inmates for $11,935.98. And then the next one for the sheriff's office is going to be to trade in and purchase 7 of their trucks. And the total for that is going to be $18,048.
LT, how old are the ones you're trading in? How old are the ones you're trading in?
Next up for emergency services, it's going to be for their hazard supplies and equipment, and it's going to be totaling to $59,452.37. And then the next one for the recorder's office is for a new wide format printer / scanner for $14,985. The next one for tourism is going to be for their 2026 U.S. Travel Association membership, and it's going to be for $10,575. Next one is going to be for the building maintenance, and it's going to be for a new Chevy diesel to replace one of their old F-150s in the maintenance fleet. It's going to be for $49,563. Next up for the Habitat Conservation Plan, it's going to be for chemicals for weed eradication to combat fire risk in the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve for $29,662.20. And these last few are going to be for the roads department. The first one is for a 2025 Kenworth T880 with a Viking dump bed for $226,607. The next one for the roads is going to be for a vehicle post lift for $55,000 even. And then the last one is going to be for a purchase of a new truck, and this is more of a general purchase for it'll be for $80,000 in total.
Very good.
Alfred, do you know on the Kenworth with the dump, are they selling one to at the same time? Do you know that?
No, I do not.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the purchase request as presented by Alfred.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you, Alfred. Our next item is consideration of ordinance number 2025-1312-0, an ordinance establishing a county data privacy program in compliance with the Utah Government Data Privacy Act. Andy?
Yeah, for the record, I'm Andy Jorgensen. I'm the County IT Director, and I'd like to thank the Chairman and Commission for letting me speak and present this item. As you may know, the Utah Data Privacy Act requires all government entities to initiate a privacy plan by December 31st, 2025. The proposed ordinance before you fulfills that requirement by formally committing Washington County to continue reducing and protecting the personal information we collect and to implement our privacy plan consistent with industry best practices and state law. The ordinance also designates me as the county's chief administrative officer for the privacy program after discussion with the county attorney's office and clerk auditor's office that our IT department will play the most integral role in getting the program into compliance. The ordinance also declares the county's intent to comply with the Data Privacy Act by providing reports to the state and training staff as legally required. We respectfully ask the Commission to adopt this ordinance so the county remains fully compliant with the Data Privacy Act.
Very good. Thank you, Andy. This is a big issue with the county, and it's important that we have this in place. So with that, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt item 8, which is ordinance number 2025-1312-0, an ordinance establishing a county data and privacy program.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item 8. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is consideration of ordinance number 2025-1313-0, an ordinance amending Washington County Code Title 1, Chapter 14 to update Washington County's congressional district designation.
So with the recent redistricting of the state, we were in CD2 and now we're in CD3. This is changing that in our code, so it needs.
I wonder, Jenna, given what the legislature just did, if we should hold off a minute and see if it sticks? How will that impact your operating? Because, I mean, it is an appeal, so yes.
Yeah, I realize that this may change, and then we may have to change it back, but in order to comply with the requirements of the new maps, we have to get this in place in advance.
Before January 1st.
Right.
Oh, before
So we're on a deadline.
We're on a deadline?
So we change it now, we may, depending on the results of the outcome of the appeal or other.
Well, the appeal will take longer than the legislative session, so the change might come after the legislative session or after the appeal. But in order to comply with the new maps and to comply with the state requirement to change the map, we have to change the map by January 1.
What if out of protest we didn't change the map?
Then you would be out of compliance, and I would legally advise against that. You can make your protest verbally, however.
Out of compliance with state law?
Or with
Or the judge's
order. I'd like to be out of compliance with the judge's order and have her come down and enforce this. I'd like to make a motion that we don't approve this item. I know this makes your life harder, but I am seriously...
We'll figure it out.
Seriously angry about this situation. I think it's a constitutional crisis. I really do. I think it's beyond simple politics. It's a gross abuse of judicial power that has never been seen in this state in a way that I can't imagine. I can't vote for it, so we don't have another person to make a motion or to second a motion.
Let me ask you a couple questions here, Mr. Chairman. Victoria, so my question was out of compliance with state law or with the judge's order? I'm just wondering you said out of compliance with?
The judge's order is state law at this moment. The appellate court might overturn it, and then it would be different, or the legislature might do a workaround, and then it would be different. But right now, that order is law. So,
right, so that was my question. It was with the judge's order. It wasn't with a bill passed by, because the legislature just held a special session, right? It wasn't, we're not out of compliance with that right now is what my question is.
You're not out of compliance, you are out of compliance with state law because the judge's order orders a change to the map.
I meant statute. Not in statute, we're out of compliance with the judge's order.
Well, you realize that the statute was altered based on a vote by the people under the Constitution, and she upheld that vote and then implemented the map. So
Yeah.
Victor's rolling his eyes. I'm not a commissioner. I'm just giving you legal advice.
I'm saying
Compliance.
Judge Gibson ought to come down here and try to vote for this. If she wants to be the state legislature, the governor, the lieutenant governor, she could also try to be a county commissioner as well. And maybe that's where we're headed, where we no longer need county commissioners to make judgments for the people, that we can just have an unappointed or an appointed, unelected. You know, I think she's guilty of criminal conspiracy for conspiring with Democratic, socialist, and with outside money to try to flip a district in the state and basically control Congress. And so that lady, who shouldn't even be on the bench, can come down here and pass this motion if she wants. She can throw me in jail for contempt of whatever. I'm tired of it. I won't vote for this motion, and that's the end of it. All right. Any questions? Okay, we'll move on to item 10 then. Well, I think we didn't pass that, if that was what you were asking.
So it's a nay. Did we vote, or we're tabling it, or like table?
All right, I make a motion that we do not approve item 9.
So okay. So you actually want to vote to not to table. I would move that we table item 9 to, I agree with everything you have said so far, Commissioner. It's a gross overstep. So I'll just say amen to all of that.
Yeah.
So, because we'll be here for a long, long time anyway tonight. And I hate the position that we're in. I do wonder, is this the place to have that fight, or is the place to have that fight in? I'm just trying to think of our own staff that just trying to do their job. And
well, I can tell you in the state of Texas, when a judge tried to interfere with their maps, their equivalent to the lieutenant governor just told the judges, "We're sorry, we're not going to redo the maps." And then they sued again. But I wish our lieutenant governor would have stood up and said, "Sorry, it's too late, Judge. You can bring this up later." But they didn't do that. And so, one way or another, this fight's not over. So
again, agreed. I'm just saying, for the purpose of, so Jenna, this just amends the map so that we can get our ballots out and do the things that we need to do to be able to participate in the election that's coming up, understanding that there are numerous other fights going on around this state. I also wish that some of the things that happen in other places would be happening here, but they're not right now. So this ordinance would allow you to do what?
This ordinance will make our code match the map that's been approved. As we're programming ballots, they will most likely have CD3. I don't know that we will have an option for CD2. So I understand your stance that as we're programming ballots with direction from the Lieutenant Governor's office, it will be CD3.
So, Commissioner, that's all I'm trying to say is I totally understand the fight. You know we're involved in this fight outside this room, right? We're collecting signatures, personally collecting signatures, trying to overturn Prop 4. We're doing the things that we can to try and do that. I don't know if number 2025-1313-0 is the way to battle that. But I understand, that's why I said just tabling rather than voting it down, because I don't know about being able to then come back and address this. But I guess if we vote it down, we can always come back and address it again later, right? If there was, depending on what the legislature does, or appeals, or other things, we can...
Maybe we can ask Judge Gibson to weigh in on it, and maybe she can give me her opinion so I can disregard it. I frankly don't care. This is an atrocity what's happened. It's not just a little judicial disagreement. It's terrible. And the Constitution says the state legislature will find the maps. Anyway, I've spoken too much, but What's your flavor?
So you had a motion to vote on, but to vote no.
Yeah.
All right, well, I will second that.
So we have a motion and a second to deny item 9. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. All right, now we're on to item 10, which is consideration of ordinance number 2025-1314-0, an ordinance rezoning a certain portion of Washington County located at approximately 750 North Cottom Ranch Road in Vail from A20 zone, agricultural 20-acre lot minimum lot size, to and OST-20 zone, open space, transitional 20-acre minimum lot size, to A5 zone, agricultural 5-acre lot minimum, hereafter fully described in the ordinance. Scott?
Yes. Commissioners, my friend Austin Levitt has property up in outside of Vail on Cottom Ranch Road. You can see the parcels highlighted in red. You can also see that there are 2 different zones on the property. There is the A10 and the open space transition 20-acre minimum lot size. The property doesn't meet either of those minimum lot size requirements for the zone. Austin's wanting to finish building a home and get the appropriate building permit for his home, and to do so we need to bring the property into zoning compliance. He is requesting to rezone the property to A5, agricultural 5-acre minimum lot size zone. There's a public hearing held in about a week ago in Planning Commission. No one spoke for or against it in the public hearing, and the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the zone change, subject to the conditions listed in the staff report, which would be an exhibit to, or an attachment to the ordinance that you'd be adopting today.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve ordinance 2025-1314-0 as described by Scott.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor of item 10, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Item 11 is consideration of ordinance -2025-1315-0, an ordinance rezoning a certain portion of Washington County located at approximately 1200 west, 500 south near Ivans from OST 20 zone, open space transitional 20-acre lot minimum lot size, to A5 zone, agricultural 5-acre minimum lot zone, hereafter described.
I apologize, there's a typo on the presentation. It's not the RA 2.5 zone, just so you're aware of that typo.
So the ordinance is correct?
Yes, the ordinance is correct. Yes, so Radley Iverson recently combined 2 parcels into one, which brings him back into compliance, and so he doesn't have to go through the subdivision process. Let's go ahead and go to the next one, Sarah. You can see the 2 parcels are highlighted in red. They've been combined into one parcel. It's zoned open space transition, 20-acre minimum lot size, to be able to build a home. He is requesting to rezone it to A5. And again, like the last item, the Planning Commission reviewed it, held the required public hearing. No one spoke for or against it during the public hearing, and the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of it.
Very good. I'll make a motion that we accept item 11 as has been explained and read in.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item 11. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. Item 12 is consideration of resolution R-2025-3635, a resolution appointing Luke Davison as Deputy County Constable. Razzle?
I have my mission statement from my office. Can I present this to you guys?
Yes, please. Thank you. Appreciate you.
It's been a while since I've been up here, so go ahead and do a little recap. I've been serving the good citizens of Washington County as a constable for over 10 years. Before that, I was officer with Tooele City and patrol officer with Washington City PD. My office is a civil division. We handle everything from subpoenas to protective orders. We do evictions. Some of those evictions come from attorneys that represent their clients. Some refer from the sheriff's department. Some come from the citizens directly to us for the evictions. I've known Luke Davidson for several years. He's attended my church. He just graduated the First Party Academy. I know him to be a good moral character and to give you a great asset to my office.
Well, very good. We've always appreciated your professionalism and your work out there. So, any questions, Commissioner?
Not at all. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3635, appointing Luke Davidson as a Deputy County Constable.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Item 13 is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3636, a resolution approving a professional service agreement with Santa Clara and Ivins Fire Department regarding fuel reductions and flood control for the Santa Clara River, or creek. I don't know why it says river. Is it a river?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a river. Yeah. You can call it the creek, but yeah. And when it gets flowing in the
flood time, it's definitely a river.
This is a proposal we have for the Santa Clara Ivins Fire crews on their slow season now to be able to go in and do some work for us. The Flood Control Authority has agreed to pay for the work, and so they would just ask us to do the contracting for it. And so we'd like to approve them for up to $20,000 to take care of some of the woody vegetation, especially around our bridges on the Santa Clara River.
Very good. Well, thank you for doing this. This is actually very important work. So,
yeah, especially with some of the fires that have occurred upstream, and then the potential to have some spring runoff. We want to get it done now.
Very good.
Turns out plants grow and need to be cut back sometimes.
Yeah, we looked at some photographs, and it's really grown up in the last 15 years since we did it last.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt item 13 as read before.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second on item 13. All those in favor say aye. Aye. The motion passes. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3637, a resolution updating Washington County's election precinct boundaries and approving corresponding maps. Hey, where's Jenna? I was just going to tell her I was going to go softer on this one.
No, she had an appointment, and this is a big agenda, but she's going to try and make it back for the
All right. Well, tell her I was looking forward to more positive.
So this is kind of interesting. This is a change on a piece of property that was annexed into the city of Santa Clara. It's literally right out my front door. I could stand on my front porch and throw a rock at this place. So I'm not happy that there's going to be homes across the street from me, but we're happy to make this happen. It's really just a simple taking it from a county precinct and putting it into Santa Clara O2 precinct.
Oh, very good.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3637, updating Washington County's election precinct boundaries and approving corresponding maps.
We have a motion. I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Item 15 is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3638, a resolution appointing a member to the Washington County Tourism Tax Advisory Board. Jamie, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Today I'm presenting Dustin Warren, Director of the St. George Regional Airport, as our choice to fill the vacant seat on the Tourism Advisory Board.
We selected Mr. Warren because the airport is a direct and critical connection between our tourism efforts and actual visitor volume. He brings valuable insight into air service, passenger trends, and travel behavior, along with strong regional partnerships that support sustainable visitation and economic growth in Washington County. His perspective will add meaningful value to TAB discussions and help ensure recommendations are grounded in real-time access, demand, and destination performance.
Well, Dustin's going to do great. I'd like to make a motion that we approve item 13, appointing Dustin Warren to the Tourism Tax Advisory Board with his term expiring December 31st, 2029.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3639, a resolution approving a renewal professional service agreement between Washington County and, is it Falgren? Falgren, Inc., for public relations and internet marketing services. Jamie.
So this is a renewed contract with Falgren Martin for a 2-year term to provide the public relations and internet marketing services for the Greater Zion Tourism Office. This renewal supports the development and launch of a new marketing campaign and allows us to maintain continuity as that campaign is introduced, executed, and refined over the next 2 years. Falgren Martin brings deep knowledge of our destination, brand, voice, and strategic goals, positioning them well to carry this work forward. Approving the 2-year contract provides stability, efficiency, and consistency as we launch this new campaign, ensuring our marketing efforts remain strategic, cohesive, and effective.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3639, approving a renewed professional services agreement between Washington County and Falgren, Inc. for public relations and internet marketing services.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Our next item is a consideration of Resolution R-2025-3640, a resolution approving the expenditure of TRT funding for a sponsorship and advertising agreement between Washington County and PB Operations, LLC, Professional Pickleball Association, for the 2026 and 2027 Greater Zion Cup at Black Desert. Chad.
Okay, thank you. The Tourism Tax Advisory Board recently voted to approve funding from the transient room tax. And just a reminder, as you know, that when visitors stay in hotels, motels, the RV parks, the short-term rentals in Washington County, a transient room tax, or TRT, is then applied to their lodging costs, and these funds are collected by the Utah State Tax Commission and then redistributed back to Washington County. And then in accordance with state law, Greater Zion then invest these into promotions, destination development projects, and these investments enhance the visitor experience while also creating lasting benefits for both the resident and visitors. And so that applies for these next 5 agenda items. The tax dollars comes from these recommendations. This first one is for the PPA, the Professional Pickleball Association Tour. From the Red Rock Open to now being called the Greater Zion Cup. It takes it from a cup or an open 4-day tournament to a larger 7-day event where professionals, media, and amateurs alike will all participate in March for a week-long event. And for this recommendation is for the 26 and 27 year with the sponsorship of $100,000 each year.
Very good. And a lot of people need to know that the Tourism Tax Advisory Board is actually made up of people who pay this tax, hoteliers, restaurant owners, people that are paying the tax. So, with that, I make a motion that we adopt item 17, which is this agreement on the pickleball court as the pickleball tournament has been explained.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second on item 17. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Item 18 is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3641, a resolution approving the expenditure of TRT funding for an event marketing agreement with GRO Promotions, LLC, for the True Grit event. Chad?
So again, the same TAP board recommended that we help with a marketing sponsorship agreement with Grow Promotions for the upcoming March True Grit mountain bike race. It's been going on for 15 years. This, besides just the local economic impact on that event weekend, this has a year-round economic impact to our trail system by mountain bikers coming in continually year-round, because True Grit brings in professional racers and amateur racers for this event, and they continue to come back and promote our mountain bike system that we have within Washington County. This marketing agreement is for $5,000 for the 2026 event.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3641.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3642, a resolution approving expenditures of TRT funding for an event marketing agreement with Underground Runners Series LLC. Chad?
So again, another one of the ones that the TAB board recommended was with Underground Running Series. These are for the Southern Utah Half Marathon and the Red Mountain Ultra races. Between the two events, they'll have just under 2,000 participants between the two. This is in March, again, March and April. The recommendation for this is $5,000, $2,500 for each event to help promote the ultra trail systems on the west side, the trail running, and on the west side of the county. And so to help increase that, to get more participants for those events. And the recommendation is $5,000 for $2,500 for each one of their specific events under the Underground Running umbrella.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3642 as presented by Chad.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is item 20, consideration of Resolution R-2025-3643, a resolution approving the expenditures of TRT funding for an event marketing agreement with BBSC Endurance Sports for the 2026 Sand Hollow Triathlon. Chad?
So the Sand Hollow Triathlon is a triathlon that's been going on for many years. It is, just to clarify, when we say triathlon, we automatically think Ironman and we think the big 70.3. This is an Olympic or sprint distance, so everything is held within Sand Hollow State Park. They'll leave the park, they'll go up to about 3,000 south on SR7, and then back within the park. So a lot shorter distances. And like I said, everything is contained within the park. They're anticipating for the 2026 event of 1,200 athletes. We are teaming up with this individual triathlon to build up to the Continental Cup and World Cup, which is in 27 and 28, and to make it an Olympic qualifier by the time 2028 comes around. So there's kind of an end game with this particular one to kind of grow it, and our intent of letters of intent to look at collegiate nationals going forth and keeping them out there within that little area. And those bring in 3,000 to 4,000 athletes over a multiple day event. So we're teaming up with them this year so they can have those to kind of grow that event, to have those for our future intent of expanding that to a broader world scale. So the anticipated for this year, for 26, will be 1,200, where 27 should be 3,000 to 4,000, and then an Olympic qualifier or collegiate nationals in 27 and 28. The recommended amount.
And how many people do you expect the collegiate qualifier? For the Olympic qualifier?
At least 4. The qualifier will be one of 7 events if we can get it. Will be in the thousands, up to 10 to 15,000, but it will be contained within the park area itself.
So that's a big impact, but not much disruption.
No, yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to help grow things out there, and the Olympic, the Sand Hollow Tri, and those smaller distances, more people can travel in to do it because they don't have to train for 6 months at a time to accomplish this event.
Do you expect most of the participants would be from out of the area?
Yeah, right now, 90% of their participants with the World Cup as a qualifier and the collegiate is 90% will come from outside of Washington County.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, as long as they will leave all the water in Sand Hollow when they're done.
Yeah, have them dry off.
Dry off really well. I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3643, approving the expenditure of TRT funding for an event marketing agreement with the BBSC Endurance Sports for the 2026 Sand Hollow Triathlon.
And I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3644, a resolution approving the expenditures of TRT funding for an event marketing agreement with Red Slopes Soccer LLC. Chad?
This final recommendation from the TAB board is for the 7 Elite International Soccer Tournament. And so this soccer tournament will be held on that first weekend, the 5th, 6th, and 7th of February. It has as of right now, it has 450 teams. 330 of those teams will be scheduled and staying in Washington County to play between Little Valley, Shibowitz, Fields, Sullivan Fields, over those 3 days. And on the international side, there are about 40 teams right now that are coming in on the international side. So that's why we teamed up with the 7 Elite Soccer Tournament, is for the amount, the economic impact of this event is around $2 million, plus the international exposure from them. They're based in Liverpool, and so that's where we've teamed up. They come in here, they bring in days beforehand for the international teams, they bring in clinics, tours of Utah Tech University, they have some clinics for the coaches themselves, so they bring in several individuals prior to the actual tournament days. But it's a big tournament, and it's right there at our last kind of weekend before we turn into high tourism season, so it's a good time of the year also.
Well, these are our friends that you introduced me to at the PGA.
Yes, the ones that flew in for Liverpool to come.
Very cool. Well, I'm glad this worked out then.
Well, I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution R-2025-3644.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you, Chad.
Commissioner Iverson, could we take just one moment and allow our clerk auditor, Ryan Sullivan, to swear in Luke Davidson as a deputy county constable? Could we
Yes,
take a moment
that would be
to do that?
fantastic.
Thank you.
I, Lucas Davidson, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and laws, of the state of Utah, so long as I continue to serve as a law enforcement officer.
Can't pin it on, but I'm going to give it to you.
Congratulations. Good job. Thank you. Very good. Thank you for that. Our next item is item 22, consideration of Resolution R-2025-3645, a resolution aligning Washington County's compensation schedule for Justice Court judges with the state of Utah's fiscal year. Victoria.
Yes, our Justice Court judges' salaries are based by state law on a percentage of the District Court judges' salaries, which are set every year during the legislative session. We are changing our schedule for Justice Court judge compensation decisions to match the state schedule. So the legislative session will happen first, and then raises and adjustments will be based on the District Court judge salary set at that legislative session. Compensation for the first 6 months of 2026 will be under the former schedule, and then a review will be given again in July 1st with the state law and judges' compensation percentage considered then. So this is just a resolution saying that we're going to align the Washington County compensation schedule for justice court judges with those of the state of Utah and their fiscal year.
Very good. Makes a little more sense. Sometimes there's been a little bit of a kind of confusion with the 2 years, with the 6 months separation, so.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3645 as Victoria presented.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you, Victoria. Our next item is consideration of R-2025-3646, a resolution approving Washington County's participation in a captive insurance program for medical stop-loss insurance and authorizing execution of related documents. Victoria?
Yes, this one's a bit more complicated than the last one because you have to explain insurance a bit. So in addition to our health insurance coverage for our employees, we also have excess coverage called stop-loss coverage. And the agreements presented in this resolution will allow the county as a mid-size employer to pool with other mid-size employers to get more favorable insurance terms and rates than you could otherwise purchase on the open stop-loss market. So there is a cost to buying into the insurance pool based on a small percentage, 10% I believe, of the premiums for the first 2 years. And this will save us money in the long term because it will keep the premium changes manageable, and the stop-loss coverage will then be supplied by Sun Life. So with this resolution, you'd be approving becoming a member of that pool via Legends Holdings and Pareto Captive of Tennessee, LLC, by allowing us to apply for the membership in that pool and become a member of that pool, and then also obtain our stop-loss coverage from Sun Life. Numerous agreements, all related and all very favorable to the county to save money on stop-loss coverage insurance.
I'm a big fan of these captive pools. I think, it's a way for people to come together, and it'll be a good thing for the county long term.
And as we discussed this, Mr. Chairman, with our insurance provider, we're self-insured, but we have the provider that helps manage the plan. This is not offered to everybody. This is offered because we have been very fiscally conservative and healthy overall, and so it's something that was offered to us this year, and this is a great financial decision for us, as Victoria already explained. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3646, approving Washington County's participation in the captive insurance program with medical stop-loss insurance for medical stop-loss insurance and authorizing execution of related documents.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3647, a resolution appropriating funds for Ash Creek Special Service District to be reimbursed for the cost of additional subcontract expenses and services for Phase 2 of the Zion Sewer Extension Project. Heath Hansen, it's good to see you.
It's always good to be here. So the Zion Sewer Project, moving along. Phase 1 was just completed last month. Zion now has a fully functioning sewer extending from the lodge to the grotto. Getting ready to move towards Phase 2. We do anticipate that there will be some additional costs incurred by Ash Creek Special Services District, the manager of the project, and they will need to pay some additional subcontractor expenses. And so this will be in addition to the original project plan that you all approved earlier this year. So this resolution would just approve additional appropriations for the additional funds that Ash Creek will expend to subcontractors for reasonable and necessary work that needs to be done to complete the project. And again, county will reimburse Ash Creek, but then we will get reimbursement from the state legislature from the appropriations that they provided a couple of years ago for this project.
Yeah, thank you for all your work on this, Heath.
Yeah, this is a big deal. We've addressed numerous times, but Heath has been a great...
I think, when this is all said and done, we should have a little sign up there that says, whenever you flush, thank Heath Hansen for all his hard
What I've
work.
always wanted to be known for is a sewer line, yeah, thank you.
It's hard to believe that we've come all this way and we're just barely getting flush toilets up the canyon, so...
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3647 as Heath has described.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3648, a resolution appointing members of the Specially Funded Transportation Special Service District Board. And Victoria.
Victor, if you were the subject of this, you would be presenting it. But we do need to appoint 2 members to the Specialty Board, Special Service District Board for funded transportation projects. This develops long-range transportation plans and identifies infrastructure gaps and obtains funding for those. And the proposed members would be Arthur LeBaron and Victor Iverson, who I can personally recommend for the position on the Specially Funded Transportation Special Service District Board.
Well, thank you. And just, I know it's a long title, but it's a board that's able to receive mostly funding that comes through what's known as Secure Rural Schools, dealing with Forest Service lands inside of our county. So.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3648, appointing both yourself and Arthur LeBaron with terms expiring December 31st, 2029 to the Specially Funded Transportation Special Service District Board.
I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is also a board appointment, consideration of Resolution R-2025-3649, a resolution reappointing members to the Southwest Utah Board of Health, and that is myself and Kenneth Snow to represent Washington County. And Nicole, did you have anything to add to that?
No, it's just such a great board, and the Board of Health has really appreciated you and Kenneth Snow as being part of the board, so definitely the recommendation for you to move forward. And this board meets, I believe, once a month in different locations, and it is with the 5-county region, so it's a great board.
It's an important board.
Mr. Chairman, I just, in full disclosure, Kenneth Snow is my father, but he's a physician, a surgeon, recently retired, and found that retirement does not suit him well, and so he was happy to be back working in the medical. This is not a job, this is as you know, this is a volunteer thing, but he's been the president of the Osteopathic Foundation, chairman of the board of the hospital numerous times. He's a 30-plus year physician, ophthalmic surgeon, and Dr. Blodgett likes having another surgeon, another doctor on the board with him, so it's not all just politicians.
Yep.
And but I receive no compensation nor remuneration of any kind in this, so in full transparency, my dad, I get nothing from it other than I see him less.
Yes. And I appreciate him being on the board. With that, are you making a motion?
I'll make the motion that, because that'd be awkward for yourself, that we approve Resolution R 2025-3649 of reappointing members to the Southwest Utah Board of Health, namely Commissioner Victor Iverson and Dr. Kenneth Snow, with terms expiring December 31st, 2029.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3650, a resolution appointing members to the Washington County Noxious Weed Board, and we have Lloyd Jessup and Stuart Bowler, who are both willing to serve on that board. I know it has a funny title, but it's actually a very important board and does great work, basically helping eradicate and control noxious weeds throughout the county. And so with that, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this resolution appointing Lloyd Jessup and Stuart Bowler to that board.
With terms expiring December 31st, 2029, and I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is item 28, consideration of resolution R-2025-3651, a resolution appointing members to the Diamond Valley Fire Special Service District Administration Control Board. And Nicole, tell us
Yes, so there's 2 vacancies currently on the Diamond Valley Fire. John Kazir and Jenny Ferry's terms are expiring. The vacancy was advertised pursuant to the state code, and John Kazir and Jenny Ferry reapplied for that, and they actually were the only 2, or we would have held interviews, but I think that we know that they're doing a great job and that we've appreciated them. This is all volunteer. I just want to point out that all of these boards are volunteer boards, so it's so great to see that how many people in the county actually really want to serve. And so the recommendation is to allow John Kazir and Jenny Ferry to continue to serve on the board through December 31st, 2029.
Very good.
I know them both. I, like Nicole said, greatly appreciate their service on all of these boards that we're going to cover over the next several items. These are a labor of love and devotion to their community, and appreciate those who are willing to step up and serve. And it's not like they get a whole lot of praise out of it, but they do get a lot of work.
Yeah, I see Pat Johnson here. He was telling me, I picked up that he had a really good life before he somehow got on that board. And anyway, we appreciate everyone who's willing to volunteer and work hard. So,
yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3651, reappointing John Kazir and Jenny Ferry, the terms expiring December 31st, 2029, to the Diamond Valley Fire Special Service District Administrative Control Board.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Item 29, which is consideration of resolution R-2025-3652, a resolution appointing members to the Dameron Valley Fire Special Service District Administrative Control Board. Nicole?
Yes, so there were 2 vacancies for this board that, with terms expiring the end of this year, and the vacancies were advertised again. Several qualified candidates put in their applications, and an interview panel was put together. We interviewed each one of them, and the recommendation before you today is for Kim Slight and Doug Markham to be appointed with terms expiring December 31st of 2029.
Very good. Well, I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution R-2025-3652, appointing Kim Slight and Douglas Markham to the Dameron Valley Fire Special Service District Administrative Control Board with a term ending December 31st, 2029.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3653, a resolution appointing members to the Northwest Special Service District Administrative Control Board. And Nicole, do you want to speak?
Yes, so there were 3 vacancies for this specific board, and vacancies were again advertised appropriately. All the candidates were interviewed, and the panel recommends Slade Hughes and Mark Kane to be reappointed to the Northwestern Special Service District, and John Levitt to be appointed as a new member, and again, all 3 terms expiring December 31st, 2029.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3653 as Nicole described, with John Levitt, Slade Hughes, and Mark Kane all being appointed with terms expiring December 31st, 2029.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3654, a resolution appointing members to the Pine Valley Local District. And Nicole, with your permission, the names you've recommended or have been interviewed is Courtney Snow and Herman Nordbrook.
Mm-hmm.
And Anyway, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3654, appointing Courtney Snow and Herman Nordbrook to the Pine Valley Local District Board with terms expiring December 31st, 2029.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our next item is item 32, consideration of Resolution R-2025-3655, a resolution appointing members to the Pine Valley Special Service District Administrative Control Board. Nicole, and I see you have two names here.
Yes, so we have, I'm just seeing two names for some reason, but we say we have 3 vacancies, so I'm going to just need to just double check that, and I apologize. But we have Mark Owens and Robert Dowley. Mark Owens would be a new member, and Robert Dowley would be reappointed onto that board. And
Very good.
if you can give me a second, I'll just double check that and make sure that we're good to.
Do you want to table that one and come back
Yeah,
after
could we
one of
just
the
table-
public
yeah,
hearings?
that would be so good.
Mr. Chairman, I
Thank
move that we table item number 32.
Make sure we are appointing the right number?
Yeah, just to make sure we have that correct and move it later in the agenda.
All right. Well, at this time, we are going to open for a public hearing. So we have a motion for a public hearing.
Need a second on the tabling?
Yeah, actually, let's go ahead and procedurally.
So I moved that we would table
Okay,
that.
actually, can I just not, and so you don't have to table it?
Okay.
It is 2 vacancies, so we will just update the resolution with your approval to just mention it's 2 vacancies, not 3. That was an error. It is Mark Owens and Robert Dowley is who the interview panel recommended.
Okay.
Then, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3655, appointing Mark Owens and Robert Dowley with the amendment on the resolution to correct that there are not 3 vacancies open on the Pine Valley Special Service District Administrative Control Board, but rather just 2 vacancies, and that we appoint Mark Owens and Robert Dowley with terms expiring December 31st, 2029.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We're now, I'd like to make a motion that we open the public hearing. Let's see, I can't remember if I just declare a public hearing or if I make a motion.
It would be good to make a motion to open
I'd like to make a motion that at this time we open, or that we enter into a public hearing for the purpose of adopting the final budget.
And I second that.
We have a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. At this time, we're in public hearing.
So, Commissioners, this first public hearing is in regards to some compensation increases, so it's not the final budget on this first item. So that will be a separate.
Let's see, how many, we have a couple different public hearings.
You have 4 today.
So this first one is for some county officer salary changes.
I actually have that for 35.
We have that for 33 as well.
Yeah, so there's going to be 2. This first set pertains to the year 2025, and the next set will be for the budget year 2026.
Very good.
Can you put that up there on the screen?
Oh, where did I see that? Okay, very good. Just didn't see that word. I need to wear my glasses sometimes.
So this first one, I guess I need to brag a little bit that I'm fortunate enough to have 2 chief deputies, one auditor and one clerk. And they're salaried employees, and they have so much PTO they can use each year. This year, both of them had to basically give up nearly 20 days of PTO. That's working through lunches often, it's working on the weekends, sometimes it's holidays. Luke and I were here Saturday, and we were working on the budget all weekend. And prior to that, it was Jenna here way into the night and on the weekends doing reconciliations. These are two really high-demand jobs, and that's not to say other chief deputies don't work hard as well, but these guys really put in a lot of extra time and effort, and so even though this doesn't really cover the true cost of the time they did put in, they are, and I are very grateful that the commission is willing to consider giving them a little increase this year of $3,000 each. So with that, I guess we need to open it up to the public, but that was just an explanation of what this one is.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to say something? Seeing none, I will make a motion that we close the public hearing on item 33.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing for item 33. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. We now need to make a motion
To go into a public hearing.
Well, how do we adopt this? Is it?
Commissioners, this will be the next public hearing on the 2025. Then you'll make a motion for both of the hearings with the resolution following this
Okay,
next
very
public
good.
hearing.
All right, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we go into public hearing for item 34, which consists of a public hearing, let's see, consider to adopt any budget amendments. Yeah, so that's why we're here. And so we have a motion and a second to go into public hearing on item 34. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. We are now in public hearing.
All right, so this is to true up our current 2025 budget, and I'm just going to go over a memo regarding some of the changes that were made prior or after our original budget was presented a year ago. Time flies. So property and sales tax, we have a pretty good handle on that, what those are going to be. We still have to project out 2 months of what property tax will be, but, sales tax will be. Property tax is known now that we have the certified tax rates that were completed this summer. So with that, we adjusted our property and sales tax numbers. The biggest change from our last 2025 budget to the amended was a $20 million transfer. And we have to budget that as revenue entering one fund and an expense leaving the other. So we're not increasing taxes, we're not spending any extra funds, we're just transferring $20 million, and I'll go into what that consists of. The first $10 million are TRT, Transient Room Tax funds, that will be moving from our tourism fund and be transferred to our capital projects fund. That $10 million will be restricted for the Dixie Center expansion project. The other $10 million is TRCCA funds that we move from our recreation fund to our capital projects fund. Of that $10 million from our TRCCA funds, $1 million will pay for the expenses from our EOC building that we completed this year. $5 million is being earmarked for the Legacy Park improvements, and $4 million will be restricted for the St. George Airport expansion. Other notable TRT and TRCCA contributions that were not in the prior budget but are in this amended budget total $1.74 million, and they went to do projects, just to name a few: the Washington Canal Trail, Zion National Park Transportation Study, Dixie Sun Bowl reconstruction, Hurricane Bicycle Park, Washington City Plaza, Thunder Junction Park. We also received some additional opioid settlement funds of $330,649. So we have amended our revenue up that amount. Speaking more of some capital projects, a totaling of $6 million, the budget was amended for capital projects related to the EOC storage facility building and the inmate medical housing. We met with all of our department heads and elected officials in truing up this the current budget, and these were the big adjustments that we made. Like I had mentioned before, the 20 million, if you're looking at the prior compared to the new one, that's the biggest change, but it's simply just transferring the money over so that it belongs in the right spot now in our capital projects fund.
Well, you and your team do an amazing job. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to come and speak? Seeing none, I'd like to make a motion that we close public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are now out of public hearing, and we have item 35, which is consideration of resolution R-2025-3656, a resolution adopting the amended Washington County budget, including compensation increases for executive county officials for 2025. I think Ryan's already spoke to it.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second on item 35. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. I'd now like to make a motion that we go into public hearing for item 36, which is a review and consideration any compensation increases for executive county officers prior to the adoption of the final budget. So I'd make a motion that we're in public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
I don't know if we can... Okay. So I guess we need to open up. Did you just open up? We did.
We're in public hearing right
Sorry,
now.
I'm doing too many things at once here.
It's all right.
All right, so this pertains to the 2026 year. These are all the county officers, and we're required by state statute to publicly disclose any increase in compensation. This is a list of all of the affected people, and the increases range anywhere from 3 to 5%.
Very good. Anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this? Seeing none, I will make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing on item 36. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. I'd also like to, at this time, make a motion that we open a public hearing for item 37, which is the commission shall conduct a public hearing and review and consider and adopt the 2026 budget by resolution. So it can be filed with the state auditor.
And I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to open a public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ryan?
Okay, this is a lot shorter, but this pertains again to the 2026 budget. We met back in November where you passed a tentative budget, and so there were a few changes that we did make subsequent to that meeting. One of them is our RAP tax revenue projections were adjusted up $700,000. This is not a tax increase, it's just more people are moving here and spending money. The second one, it was in our flood damage fund. Expenses of approximately $11 million were lower due to the completion of the Virgin River project this year. There may be additional work done, but we were able to move that budget down because the project was, most of it was complete this year. And those were the two big changes. I don't know if you have any questions, but with these updates, the 2026 budget's back in balance.
Brian, you said the RAP tax is moving up by 700 or moving up to 700,000?
Up by 700.
What was it before?
I think we had about $6 million budgeted as revenue, and now it's 6.7 total.
Because it's not that 15%.
So that's...
Okay, we're talking about everybody, not the county portion.
Correct. That's the total amount for all the entities that we bring in and then distribute out to the entities.
Just want to make sure, because the county does appropriate some RAP tax, the A of the RAP, but I say that's more.
Yeah, it just went up.
We just doubled it. Wow, well done. People really like the wrap tax.
Yeah, very good.
Thanks for the
Anyone in the audience like to come to the microphone? Seeing none, I'd like to make a motion that we close public hearing on item 37.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. You know, it's a good thing we have Maury here because nobody else is here, but Maury's going to let them know what happens. So this is great. Thank you. I honestly, I mean that in total sincerity. At this time, we would like to, we have item 38, which is consideration of resolution R-2025-3657, resolution adopting the Washington County budget, including compensation increases for executive officers for 2026. Ryan, where'd Ryan go? Those were just the warm-up songs.
So I thought that we did all that.
Well, we had all the public hearings.
We haven't actually.
So I guess now you're just asking us to vote? Because you did do the presentation and everything.
Yeah, it's basically just the vote and the consideration of the resolution at this point.
Commissioner, do you have any, hey, just a second, Ryan, I might have some questions. Do you have any questions for Ryan?
I don't have any questions at this time. I do just want to say thank you to our esteemed clerk auditor Ryan Sullivan and his entire team when he talked earlier about how much they work and how great they are. They are true public servants. They do a great job. They lead their team. They are here and spend a lot of time. If we base the hourly rate on what we just heard in the public hearing, you are cheap. Or cheap labor, I guess. Not cheap people, but cheap labor.
Yeah.
Well done. We know how hard this is. It's anybody who can imagine running a company with, if this was a company with roughly 750 employees between reserves, part-time, and full-time, 23 different departments and offices, all covering a vast array of things. Multiple revenue sources. It is not an easy thing to just, we just budget a few, and it's a few bucks. It's government,
And then throw in 8 other elected officials that you have to deal with. So
a lot of bosses, 210,000 voters. It's or residents. It's a lot. 10 million, 9 million visitors every year, all consuming resources that have to be paid for. The budget is not an easy time. I hope they have a wonderful Merry Christmas and get some good rest.
Yeah,
they're much appreciated, and we've talked. We're hoping that. I mean, there was a lot of things that happened this year. The new financial system, a lot of different election laws that had to be. Processes changed, and we're hoping that it's a little quieter next year. That they can have some meaningful time off, and that's what we're hoping and planning for.
It's good to have dreams.
Yeah.
I would also just say that we've called this out before, but once again, this budget was able to be balanced. Ryan had a very difficult task. Balance it with no new revenue from property tax other than new growth. 16 years in a row, Washington County has not raised property tax. And if we were like some counties that collect a lot of money, okay, maybe that's not real impressive to balance a budget like that, Ryan, when you've got tons and tons of money coming in. But we're already the lowest taxed county in the state by far, collecting roughly a third of what the average is and about a tenth of the highest, maybe about 12% of what the highest collecting county is. And at $3,300 a person or a home, we collect $427. So that's not easy, Ryan, to do your job. And again, just we're proud to work with you to not overtax our citizens and keep their taxes low. This is an expensive county to live in. We don't want to put an additional burden, and being able to balance a budget, unlike some states and other places that just seem to go into debt like crazy to balance a budget, or don't care about balancing a budget. Well done.
Well, thank you. It takes a whole team, as you know. I do want to say too that whoever occupies these 3 seats up here over the next coming years is going to have some tough decisions, just based on the numbers that I'm seeing and some of these plug figures we're having to pull from our savings to balance the budget. So it's not going to be fun, it's not going to be easy, but I appreciate that we've gone a long time without raising taxes. Hopefully we can go a lot longer. But I'm just saying that the new growth that comes in is nowhere near what inflationary costs, as you well know, for these additional services. So what those tough decisions might look like, I'm not sure. I mean, it could be cutting services. It could be, the county, I will say, we'll run pretty lean. We're not out spending money left and right on buying new equipment and giving people huge raises, and so it's going to be a difficult task. So,
well, I think that's a good point. I do think it's important to note, and since the only person in the room who doesn't work at Washington County is Maury, I guess I can talk to Maury here, but and to his readers. But you're right. But I think it's important to go through this process the way you have and the way your team has to operate lean, because it's easy. It's difficult to go through truth and taxation, but it's easy to say, okay, well, you know what, we need a little bit more money. Let's just go to the voters and say we need a little bit more money. I think when you're sitting on a little bit of a surplus in savings, that we should pull some of that down and use that before we ask our citizens for more money. They will say it's easy to, oh, well, just cut. This budget is extremely lean. We're operating, and I commend our department heads and our other elected officials who have gotten very creative at trying to find new ways to do more with less money. That's what we're asking our citizens to do in their own homes, and I think that government should have to do the exact same thing. And I can tell you, having gone through this budget, very fine tooth comb, that's exactly what Washington County did. And we saw earlier this year that cities and counties all over the state were just going through truth and taxation like crazy, having massive increases. And I can tell you they didn't, knowing some of them, I don't know that they went through this like you did and we did, to try and cut and operate as leanly as possible so that we're not having bloated budgets. We don't just waste money. It's making every dollar literally stretch as far as it can possibly go, so that if and when we ever do have to ask the voters, the citizens, for a small amount more, which we're not doing now, but if we did, that we can look them honestly in the eye and say, we've done everything we could to avoid this. At some point, inflation just catches up with you, and you have to do more. And so, but we haven't done that again, and so they can be happy for another year on that.
Sure appreciate you, Ryan, and your entire team. For a lot of times people don't realize this is a 6-month exercise, so by August you'll be starting again, and you can't wait.
And come February you start the audit, so
I think
like a couple weeks off, Luke. Come on.
What Ryan really appreciates is that budget season and election season come at the same time, so it's like he gets to celebrate.
Do you know there's everything in between? Over 5,000 signature packets signatures were dropped off today. And people think when an election's over, it's like, oh, you can breathe. So no, now it's setting up ballots, maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
And yeah, over 5,000 signatures, and I suppose they'll keep pouring in.
And I'm sure you're going to get calls from the Lieutenant Governor's office about your crazy county commissioners here in a little bit.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3657, adopting the Washington County budget, including compensation increases for executive county officers for 2026.
I'll second that motion. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. That is our final item, and so with a heavy and a happy heart at the same time, we'll gavel my last.
Thank you for your leadership, and you're just being chairman is a hard job. Thank you for doing it for the last 12 months.
I'm glad you appreciate that. So I will gavel our last meeting of 2025 to an end.
Thank you.